Hey guys, welcome back to another DeltaMath tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at this assignment, test solutions to linear equations. Now, this is another assignment where I personally like using a little bit more creative of methods to solve it than we may traditionally do. I know a lot of us would look at this and say, oh, well, we have an x value and a y value in our coordinate. Let's plug it in and see if the equation works, if it solves correctly. And that's all good. But I also like looking at other creative ways to solve these problems, ones that you guys actually might like. So we're going to utilize Desmos to help us with this problem. That's a graphing software. So the question here says, which of the following equations represents a line that passes through -6, 1 and 0, -3? And then it gives us two options, line 1 and line 2. And it wants us to say if both of those lines, neither of those lines, or just one of those two lines, or which one of those lines, passes through the given points. Now, what I've chosen to do in this problem is go over to Desmos and graph both lines here. Now, that's great. We can see these lines on the graph, and if we're really comfortable in identifying coordinates on a graph, then we could figure this out pretty easily. But because I really like to up our visualization of what we're doing here, I'm going to put our coordinates that this is passing through into Desmos as well. So let's double check what those are. -6, 1 and 0, -3. Okay, so I'm going to type that coordinate right here. -6, 1, just like so. And then I'm actually going to have it label it on the graph for me by clicking that little box. And then I'm going to do the same with my second point. Now, I think it was 0, -3, and it was. I just wanted to double check it and make sure I wasn't leading us astray there. Okay, and I'm going to label that one as well. So what we can see is that the two lines we're trying to get these to pass through, or the 2 points we're trying to get these lines to pass through, actually aren't in either of the lines, right? One of them is kind of sitting off to the bottom here. Oops, don't know what happened there. One of them's kind of sitting off to the bottom here, and then one's over here. Neither of those lines actually pass through those points. They come close, but not through. Now, you can solve any of the questions on this assignment in this exact same manner. As long as you go to Desmos and you type in your equations and then the coordinates, we can very easily visualize if these lines pass through there or not. So let's go back over to DeltaMath, and since neither of those points actually pass through the lines, I'm going to click the neither box. Let's check to make sure we're right, though. I'm going to submit my answer, and we were correct. So here's the big takeaway. I want you guys to realize that the method that DeltaMath is using here, plugging in these numbers and solving, is important. Algebraic means of solving problems is important, and it's great to know how to do that. It's important to know how to do that. But I also think it's really important to understand how we can solve some problems utilizing other resources and tools that we have whenever we may be faced with something we're unsure how to solve ourselves. These are like things that come up on the ACT all the time. Whenever we're looking at a problem and say, okay, I don't know how to do that. Maybe there's a way that you can utilize some other thing you know in math to help you solve that problem, or at least help you eliminate some answers or kind of narrow it down. And that's kind of what I want us to be thinking about in problems like this, where we're looking at Desmos and asking, what can it do for me in this problem? All right, guys, thanks for watching this. I'll see you in another DeltaMath tutorial.